Hey, welcome back. This is Patrick with the Hyperfish. From the Hyperfish, I am the Hyperfish. I was like, I don't know if I'm feeling the magical dimensions, oracle cards, and activators anymore. And I was like, okay, well, let me just like chill down, listen out, see what's up. What should I use? Magical dimensions. I'm like, okay, well, let's go. Let's go. I had my first live yesterday on this channel, and it was awesome. And how fitting is it that the inaugural live was like 4 hours long? Because that's me. Alright. But I'm not necessarily... Oh, there we go. I'm not necessarily going to spend too much time talking. Boom. Exploration again. It'll come back out if it's supposed to. What's at the bottom of the deck? Challenges. Okay, so I have a playlist on my channel called Daily Bites. I believe... Oh no, it's in the live. Okay, so I'm gonna link in the description box the video that I did on my Legacy channel where I broke down... What was it? Illumination, Throat Portal, and Exploration. Because with challenges at the bottom of the deck, that's kind of sort of telling me that there's a little bit of an area of difficulty there, and that video may be helpful. So maybe that's also telling me that I need to bring a lot of those over as well. Or just put that in the playlist as part number 2. The day back. I'll do both. Okay, here we go. Higher perspective. Bottom of the deck is emotional freedom. Love that. And I've seen emotional freedom at the bottom of the deck before, I believe. Oh no, it came out at the top when I was done. Higher perspective is number 20. Oh my gosh. Higher perspective is number 21. Emotional freedom is number 12. Y'all see that? 21 and 12. So they go hand in hand. Alright, well, let's get into this higher perspective. A lot of times, higher perspective will give you emotional freedom. Especially when you come from a place of understanding that we're all human, we're all hurt, no matter what our sort of relationship is to each other. For higher perspective, I feel like I've got to go with the SKTs. So that's what I'm going to do. I mean, it's higher perspective. I don't know if I get necessarily any higher perspective than the SKT. So I guess I could have also went with the Archangel Power cards for higher perspective, but excuse me. I don't know why I always put this back in the box. Okay. I'm gonna have to look at this because I got a whole like first name, last name, address on this box. Well, the address is old, but still my first and last name on here. I might have to, I'm gonna have to watch this one back. I have to take that off the box or something, cover it up, just in case. I'm feeling good today. I got that, I don't know who sings it. I can't remember who sings it. But that song is like, what was that? Time on my hands since you've been away, boy, and I got no plans. No, 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 no. In the sound of the rain against my window pane, slowly driving me insane. But that ain't how I'm feeling, so I don't know. So on higher perspectives, I have the Cosmos, Awakening, and Unity. The Cosmos, Awakening, and Unity. So Unity is going to be the Two of Cups. Obviously. Awakening is going to be, I think I did the tower as something before. Well, it's New World Order in this deck for Awakening. And then the Cosmos. What is the Cosmos? The Fool? So for the Cosmos, I'll pull the Seeker. Can I do the Seeker, the Initiate, the Seeker, and the Keeper here? Because Awakening could be... The Cosmos is definitely the Keeper. Awakening could be the Seeker. I don't think Unity would be the Fool, though. But the Cosmos could be... Unity could be the Keeper, and the Cosmos could be the Initiate. Because it's sort of like opening up to all of it. Is that what I'm going to do? Yep. Alright, so I'm going to do the Initiate, the Seeker, and then the Keeper. And I wanted to do the... Ooh. Oh, okay. Dark Horse and the Corrupted just came out. 7 of Cups and 7 of Chalices and 7 of Scepters. At the bottom of the deck is the Stronghold of the Zephyrs, which is a messenger. That's interesting. What came out before? Exploration and Challenges. I feel like maybe someone's having a difficulty putting some of the things in the past. It's like you put them in the past and now they're trying to creep up to the future, and it's like you're giving second thought to things that you had already put behind you, potentially. And then there's the 7 of Swords and the Reaper. So 777 death. Oof, that's the jackpot that it's like, I don't know if that's a good one. Okay, I'll do 2 more. Let me get this started. So first card out is the Captor, 8 of Swords. When it comes to the Cosmos, I'm looking for the Initiate again. And so with the Captor, it's like you are actively keeping yourself, actively or passively. And if it's passively, it's like there's the Initiate, and here is the card, Archangel of Glory before the Initiate when it comes to the Cosmos. Not seeing everything for the true beauty that it holds. And kind of sort of, it seems like you're like, that just went in there, wherever it went in there. Oh! It kind of sort of seems like, someone doesn't believe in delayed, it's not even delayed gratification, it's the instant gratification that someone isn't getting by walking. It's like, I've walked away from this one thing, okay, where's the next? And it's like, girl, like, you ain't even all the way out the door yet. Like, you just picked up your stuff, put on your coat, slipped your shoes back on, and like you're almost out of the door. You're not even fully out of the door. So, like, get fully out of the door before you're asking me what comes next. And it's like someone can't, it's like someone needs to have something in hand before they leave something else. It's because, you know, they say a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush. You're just going to have to trust that you have 2 birds in the bush and leave the one in your hand. Some people can't do that. Maybe that's the challenges. Then the Initiate came out again, so I'll put you on there. The Ivory Shield, Queen of Cups. I feel like that's being spiritually guarded. Maybe getting answers that you don't like, maybe being led to do healing that you don't want to do, or getting sort of guidance that you don't want to follow, and so you're putting your shields up against the very folks you're asking to help you. Ooh, that was so many pentacles. So many orbs. Now I'm looking for the Seeker. There's the Keeper. Where's the Seeker? I'm going to try to keep this one fairly short. Fairly short. 8 of Chalices and then the 8 of Orbs. Going into that. Ooh, and then 2 Strongholds, 2 Messengers. Ooh. And then two more messengers together. The messengers are coming out twos by twos. Somebody may be getting heavy synchronicities. Oh, there he is. She is. Okay. Ooh, I almost looked at the card too. So here's the seeker. Before her was that demon, and before the demon was the empress. So what was before that? The vagabond, Five of Pentacles. Maybe someone's like chained to the things that they, but this is higher perspective. So the things that sort of like you manifested in the past with that empress, and then the angel at the bottom of the deck where the demon was sort of right before that. We just went from one extreme to the other. Did y'all see how like many cards I had trying to shuffle them together? It's like someone's judgment is clouded because they can't see you can't see the forest for the trees. It's like someone is too close to something to be able to see it for what it is, and that's why they need that sort of more instant gratification when walking away from one thing and towards the next. That's like, I've seen the magician at the cut so many times. One more, and then I'm gonna go looking for the keeper. First card out is the Memory Keeper. Not the Memory Keeper, the Keeper Keeper. Ooh, we go from a 6 to a 5 to a 2. Looking for that. Oops, Keeper. Oh, and there's a Keeper. Before the Keeper was the Lovers. And this is about unity, too. This was the unity, so that's interesting. Bottom of the deck is the Tower. Okay, so exploration, and then under the Tower is the Archangel here. But that exploration, what the challenges at the bottom, is going to be relevant. Excuse me, because someone needs to let some stuff go to see the higher perspective in a situation and to know that I'm going to do this a little bit different today. Because why not? I already have it set up like this, right? Not that you can necessarily too much tell the difference, but hey. If I had like little things I could like prop these up on, that would be so cute. Alright. I'm gonna read the entry. And then we're gonna get going. This is number 21. 21. Y'all remember Vine? 21. I mean, it was close. He was like, what's 9 plus 10? 21? I don't know. 21. 9 plus 10 is 19. 21, that's a difference of 3. 21 is a 3. 19 is a 1. With the 2 in between. 2 is all about... So 1 is all about kind of sort of new beginnings, and it's about the jumping point. 3 is a number, it's a catalytic number. So it could be one thing that changes another thing, but it in and of itself is not changed. Right? How 2 parents come together to make a baby, but neither parent is changed. Right? But the 2 is sort of the duality between them. Between starting something new and allowing yourself to go through things and not be changed by them. I feel like there's this, when you come into an understanding of who you are, and then the Memory Keeper came out, and I was like, not the Memory Keeper, the Keeper. When you come to an understanding of who you are, I feel like it puts a lot of things into perspective, maybe a higher perspective. And an understanding of who you are beyond the situations that you find yourself in, the circumstances that happen to you, or the circumstances of your birth. And it's like beyond the things that happen to you in your life, when you find out who you are, When you allow those things that happen to you to get you closer to who you are, that's when it becomes more of a journey of remembrance, right? It's for you, it's discovering, but for the truest, non-changing part of you, it's remembering. And so it's like the situations are going to be what the situations are. I guess I'm going to say it both ways because that's not how I felt it the first time. But it's like the situations are going to be what the situations are, right? If someone does something bad to you and they don't feel bad about it, like they are not changed. The situation doesn't change no matter how long you sort of dwell on it, but you are changed. But then if you take that to a different perspective, who you truly are does not change. But the situations help you get closer to the truest part of you. So on both sides, you see that sort of two duality pole link bridge in between them, because that's all duality is, kind of sort of sometimes it's just a bridge that connects two things, right? And it's connecting the one to the three, because the three exists within the one to certain degrees and measures, right? I feel like we don't necessarily all birth and father children, but we're all children. We're all these motherly, caring, birthing, creative influences, and we're also these fatherly, protective, structured, it's like the mother, it's like the father is the house, the mother is the home, and you are the child that dwells in it, in all three portions. Different aspects of the one that is you, just like we're all different aspects of the one that is the one, right? So let's continue with this higher perspective. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry for the yo. I've been like so just snappy lately. Like I could sleep all day. I've been enjoying sleep lately. But let's go. So we're starting with the celestial interpretation. Higher perspective resonates to peace and serenity and the soul's connection to the cosmos. It purifies and clears confusion about the soul's place in the universe and exists and assists the soul with feeling allied with a greater purpose and a higher power. It helps with delivering fresh vantage points into challenging circumstances and reminds all things to perceive situations from a higher, more celestial perspective. So there we go with exploration and the challenge again. In this higher perspective, trying to offer not necessarily a solution, but trying to offer peace in the situation. Trying to offer comfort in the situations where you don't know everything and you won't know everything. And it's like taking the power away from another individual and putting it back into your hands when it comes to your healing, right? Because like I said, there are some people who can do things to you. There are certain situations that come in and the situations won't necessarily change, but the way that you interact with those situations can, right? Because it's like we come across these situations that then lead us back to us. The oracle interpretation is the cosmos is asking that you see your situation from a higher perspective. Perhaps you've been too focused on trying to solve your problem from only one point of view and need to ask the universe for assistance in bringing you a new outlook. Expand your ideas into higher and brighter and bigger ventures. Think big. You are awakening, and new ideas will be coming forth that are of a higher no that are wait what yeah that are of a higher, cleaner vibration. This is a time of full expansion and attracting very high frequencies. The companion crystals are sugilite and lepidolite. Lepidolite. Companion essential oil is basil. That's why the unknown came out again, because oh my goodness, challenges with the unknown. I was like, I already got this card. Like, I already did this. So I'm still gonna link that below, just in case, like, maybe something I said will resonate, and maybe you'll find an area that you're sort of having a little bit of difficulty um, getting those things to smoothly transition. So in the space of the cosmos, in the space of all that is, in the space of the grander, greater creation that exists without you, but also within you in some measures, that you sort of play a role in being. It's like there are some forces that we are sort of a microcosm of in and of ourselves, and as we balance that system within ourselves, we also then bring balance to the system outside of ourselves. But in order, like, since reality is the sort of state that we all agree upon, in order to change reality, it takes, in some ways, it takes many individuals to reach that same sort of point of attraction, and then to find resonance with other individuals. And it's like once you can get enough individuals, and that's the whole thing that, you know, people talk about. Once you get enough individuals to adopt this higher perspective and to come to the space of leaving old systems behind that never really served anybody, or if they did serve anybody, they served a very select few. But at the end of the day, it also didn't serve those people either. And so it's all about getting you to come to this point within yourself, to get everyone else to come to a point within themselves, to get reality to get a little brighter and get a little higher, right? But at the same time, I'll just leave it there, because I feel like it can get more complicated, unnecessarily complicated, because, yeah, it's unnecessarily complicated. So when it comes to the cosmos with this initiate is the champion. I feel like the universe is like, and we have the tower here, right? These tower moments come into our lives to sort of illuminate things to us, and then to ultimately lead to healing, because what comes after the tower is the star, and the star is associated with that healing energy. In this deck, the star is the healer. And it's like, we are not the things that happen to us, right? And we're not the circumstances and situations that we were born into, and we're not the circumstances and situations that we attract into our experience. And the point of these towers is to get you to sort of realize and recognize the points within yourself, the points of your attraction that don't align with where you want to go. Or it's to get you to come. I mean, it's a card of revelation and realization, honestly. It could be harsh truth. I mean, it is the tower, so a lot of times it's like harsh truths. But it's a revelation and it's a realization. And it's interesting that this card came out because the Corruptor and the Dark Horse came out together. And the axes in this card, like, this card speaks about, like, how the influences of the Corruptor can lead us to our downfall, and that's the 7 deadly sins: greed, pride, lust, envy, gluttony, sloth, and wrath. I think I got all 7. Oh, snap! I always forget one, but I believe that was all 7. But it's about how we may have noble pursuits in the beginning, but when unchecked, we go excess, right? And so let's say that we have the champion here, right? So wrath and pride might be 2 of the ones. So let's say that, like, you go through this difficult situation and you need to get through it. And so the way that you get through it is to harden yourself, right? But then let's say that, like, you're like, I'm never going to let anyone else take advantage of me, and, like, people aren't going to use me, and blah, 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 blah. But then, I was just drawn to this. And the colors are blue, green, and yellow. I made this. I mean, the colors are also like these purples and these other colors, but I was drawn to the blues, greens, and yellows. And I love how there's like these bright pockets of yellow where like I got double yellow and they're just like interwoven together. Like there's another. Like there's these like light moments, and then there's another kind of sort of right under this. I went to Purdue and it was 150 years. I went to Boilers Out Loud and I picked up I believe this is the trans button. The button for the trans colored flag. Yeah. Girl, is this. I'm so ignorant sometimes. Because I'm like, is that the trans flag or the bisexual flag? No, I believe white, yellow, and pink is the trans flag. But now I need to see what the bisexual flags are. Because the flag, the ace flag is like white, gray, purple, and maybe black. Maybe it's like pink, blue, and purple is the bi flag. Yeah, okay. That's the bi flag colors for anyone who was curious. So yeah, that is the trans flag. And I remember picking that one up specifically because I was like, I could pick up the rainbow one just for, like general, like gay, whatever. But I was like, you know what? Like, that section of the community has made enough strides, and there are other sections. Oh, look, there's another bit of yellow right there. I love it. There are other sections of the community that we kind of sort of dismiss. And I want to show that section that, I acknowledge and recognize that y'all are also a part of this community. And so maybe there's also this feeling of like helping other people sort of establish themselves and maybe like helping them build from the ground up. But then it's like you kind of sort of get forgotten about. And that's a little aside. I don't know. The colors there, that's solar, heart, and throat. Honestly, that blue is pretty deep, so it's kind of third eye. And so it's almost kind of sort of like solar, heart, and third eye. Because I don't think... No, there's some lighter blues in there. Okay, yeah. So solar, heart, throat, and third eye. And that's all about your actions, your heart, your speech, and your perception. And there's this alignment between all of them, but I feel like with this tower there was a sort of separation. So again, let's go back to the example of like you're someone who's taken advantage of, and so you decide to be like colder and to not give to anyone, but then let's say like you dive into the energy of like wrath, where you become mean, you become bitter, you become nasty. Or let's say that on the opposite side you're like, you know what, like this person took advantage of me, and like I'm this and I'm that, and they didn't see this, and blah blah blah, and it sort of builds itself, and then it becomes pride, right? You go super deep into being like egotistical, and it's because you sort of dive into those as this coping mechanism, but you never really go back to the source and heal the pain. You never address what that moment was sort of highlighting to you. But again, this card comes in and it cleans up that corruption at the same time. And so let's say that like you did, or maybe you were already in a space of like being super proud or gluttonous or envious of other people, right? Then you come into this situation where your confidence is shaken and your pride is gone. Or it's like you come into this space of where like you start attracting people who are jealous of you and envious of you, and then start tearing you down. It's like this energy like flips it on its head to show it to you, because if they both came up right, it's like you wouldn't see it. And so we have to flip one of them for there to be this slight disconnect, for you to realize, hey, something's not matching, right? But with the cosmos, I feel like that's the energy of, and I feel like this, with this initiate, like this is the energy of like the higher perspectives in general, this whole, every message sort of here wrapped into one, because this is you beginning to understand and you beginning to come into your own power Because when you heal, when you take the higher perspective and heal from these tower moments, you become this champion. You become able to sort of find victory no matter what situation you're in. And in that unshakable victory, you're able to manifest the things that you actually want. You're able to go after those things, and you're able to help other people go through their situations. And I don't know if it's the one that she's holding. Okay, so you see how her wand is sort of like impaling her a little bit, and she bleeding, but she's still like, oh yeah, that's nothing. I feel like that again speaks to that energy of like, you know, there are certain things that you had to go through to remind you of who you are, because we don't know how strong we are truly until we have to be that strong. And so these things weren't happening to you to tear you down and to make you weak and to convince you that you're not worth whatever. It happened to you to get you to find the strength within yourself and then to embody that. Right, that is the gift from the cosmos, and it's like tough love, like a hard life or these difficult situations is a gift from the universe, and it's like, yeah, it is, because ultimately at the end of the day, that's what a lot of us need to sort of get us to realize the things that we need to realize, and to have these awakenings with the burdened one. Ooh, lots of fire, lots of fire. I feel like with exploration and challenges coming out, and then with this burden one coming out in this space of awakening in this tower, I feel like, again, that's probably it's a certain amount of difficulty in seeing yourself as victorious, or finding that energy of victory in the space where everything seems to fall apart, because I feel like you may, it's like with this initiate, because this isn't even the seeker. Like the seeker is the energy of like, oh, you've done it, here's how to take it to the next level. The initiate is like, you're brand new. Like this is hearsay. I feel like that might be like, you may be in the space of like, oh yeah, I heard about that. And it's like, maybe you pretended like you've like, it's not that you're pretending that you've healed, but the level of healing that you're being called to do now, it's like, I understand that it's kind of sort of the same thing, but also it's a higher caliber and it may be a little difficult. And so it's like maybe some folks are pretending like they've done all that, but now that it's actually time to do that, they're having this difficulty. But again, getting back into this higher perspective, this is interesting, because I usually see this as like the divine trying to take these burdens away from you, from the burdened one. But now I'm seeing it as like the divine giving these to you. Giving you burdens. And with these oxen in the card here and not using them, it's like not being able to take the easy way out. Going through those difficult situations to lead to this awakening. Dark night, you see how dark it is? Dark night of the soul. Energy. These power moments are gifts. I don't know why I just said it like that. I'm sorry. But they're a gift. Blessings in disguise. Blessings in the skies. Blessings in disguise. Disguise. Okay, so disguise is kind of like dysfunctional. This means it is what it is, but it doesn't serve the purpose it's supposed to, right? Because I'm like, disguise, because a guise is like a mask, right? It's not necessarily a mask. A guise is just like the appearance of it. And so disguise is an appearance that doesn't reveal the truth of what it actually is, right? It's like he came into the parlor wearing the guise of a man, right? And it's like, okay, he is a man, cool. Like at first I couldn't tell because the silhouette made him look a little bit like a beast, but he's a man. But then a disguise is like a mask. It's like he came. It's like this because behind the scenes of this card, it was prophesied that a prince would win the throne, but in reality, a princess won the throne, wearing the guise of a prince, wearing the guise of a man. But the guise of the man was her disguise, because she was actually the princess. And so I feel like, again, there are these situations that come to us, these gifts that come. How do I say that? There are these things that we consider. There are these blessings that come in the guise of challenges. But the disguise is that those challenges lead us to these blessings. And that's the sort of tower moment breakthrough awakening that's happening. It's being able to see the divine truth behind why your path may be so difficult, because you're not using these beasts of burden to carry your load. You're carrying them yourselves. And it's like it's given to you for you to give back. And again, it takes me to the energy of like a ticket exchange counter, right? It's like an establishment will give you tickets when you play the games, and then you give the tickets back to the establishment and exchange them for a prize. Like, you can't just walk in and get a prize, right? You got to get the tickets from them and then trade the tickets in for a prize. They dispense the tickets and the prizes, and you just go in and do what you need to do to get enough tickets to get the prize you want. In the space of, I'm also going to read an I Ching around these two, because I love the I Ching, and this is still fairly short, I believe. Fairly short, and it's like 40 minutes long. Leave me alone. And then we come into the space of unity, and unity is the bread of life, and I love that. Bread of life is the Ace of Orbs. This is the darkening. Yeah, it's the darkening. And I wish I knew what phase that was. I believe it's like sometimes you gotta burn stuff. And when you burn stuff, it's like you get all the heat. The tower gives whatever is in the alchemical pot the energy to begin to react, right? Because a lot of things, are inertly stable, right? That's like if you go outside and you pick up a rock, the rocks aren't sort of like falling apart and deatomizing or atomizing. The rocks aren't atomizing, like the molecular structure isn't falling apart. If you pick up iron, a chunk of iron, it's going to be solid iron, right? But the heat gives it enough energy to break those old bonds. The heat gets it to move and vibrate, rising the vibration. And then when you get something else that comes close enough, since it's broken its old bonds, it can form connections with the new one. And then once you cool it back down, they stop vibrating, and it's able to form those bonds with that new thing. But you have to give it enough energy. You have to shake it up enough that it breaks the old patterns and it breaks the old habits. And I believe the darkening is when like some of that stuff kind of like burns up a little bit, because you may also get like some soot, like some charcoal, some ash, and then you like clean it up, and then you purify it and you remove what you actually want from like the charcoal, basically. And so it's like giving this space purpose with this unity, because this is a unified consciousness, right? Like I said, there's like these situations, these catalytic situations happen to you. The situations no longer how much you think about them. No long, like even if you get an apology from somebody, that situation still is what that situation is. The situation is never changing because it already happened, and it affected you. But at the same time, your higher self, your truer self, who you are at a more soul level, is unchanged. But it allows these catalytic situations to happen to you to get you closer to it. And that's the unity. You understanding the higher perspective and getting the sort of learning, like, okay, this is getting me closer to this truth about myself. This is getting me closer to this truth about myself. And as you heal and come into more and more and more truths of yourself, eventually you reach this space where you, like, because that's the tower, that's the fire. As these fires come into your life and agitate you, get you to move, get you to shake things up, break old bonds, get you to leave other stuff. And as the other stuff burns up in the fire, that'll eventually be washed away and purified. You come out as this diamond, for lack of a better phrase or term, right? And so then it's like, we brush off all the soot, brush off all the charcoal, get to the diamond, rinse the diamond, polish it up, then it's like as you're polishing and rinsing that diamond, it comes closer in contact with who you actually are. And once you get high enough, it forms that bond. And then you have a more conscious connection with the truer unconscious part of you, subconscious part of you. And then from that space of unity, you can give this space purpose. You can be a lot more intentional with what it is that you do. And since you don't need these towers anymore to come in and shake you up and wake you up, you can then manifest things in your life that you actually want instead of subconsciously manifesting things that you don't want, to remember that you don't want them, to get you to a place where you heal beyond them, and then to get you to a place where you are who you are supposed to be. And that's that. But if you get stuck in the difficulty of these tower moments, and if you get stuck in the challenges of that exploration instead of stepping into the bravery of that exploration, if you can't adopt these higher perspectives, it'll be very difficult to proceed to that unity point. Like, you can go through an awakening, but if you never proceed to that unity point, then, like, what's the, like, you're only, like, 2/3 of the way there. Or kind of sort of halfway there, because this is, like, 2. Right? So if you don't get past this point, it's kind of sort of like you're at the end of this and in the space of this. So you've got 2 conquered out of 4, and that's 50%, which is failing. Failing to see what it is that you actually need to see behind these situations, and failing to act on the things that you actually need to act on to heal from these situations, and failing to come into who you are. Failure to seize more of your potential and to use that potential to create a space that you actually want to be in. Now I'm going to do the I Ching around the champion and the bread of life. And then I'm going to wrap this up. I mean, this is still like 50 minutes, I think, by the time I end it, but it feels like this is so short. My concept of time is just so wonky. It's so wonky. Oh, and look, I'm still on the tower. That's interesting, because the tower's right there. So that's Martian energy. Mars comes in, it lights a fire under that rear to get you to do something, to get you to act. Right? Mars ain't coming to set things on fire so you just cry about being burnt up. It's like, no, like, you're supposed to take this fire and do something with it. Do some with it. Mars said you better act. So the 6 of scepters is thunder, and the bread of life is... Are we really doing this right now? Okay, so we're really doing this right now. I don't know why... Here we go. I was like, I don't know why my books app does that sometimes. And then the Ace of Orbs is earth. Thunder over the earth. Thunder and earth. That is number 16, enthusiasm. Ooh, that sounds exciting. This may be the universe's side, because if y'all ain't excited, then it ain't your enthusiasm. Enthusiasm and motivations, this is you, I believe. Is this the character for family, almost? I can't remember. It reminds me of family for some reason. So you says, demonstrate enthusiasm. Then those of the spirit realms and earthly realms alike will follow you. Honor fellow dignitaries with celebration, and they will honor you. Honor ancestors and your guides, and they will honor you. To be motivated to achieve, you must first be motivated by the energy of life. Action with enthusiasm. Renounce hesitation. Do not let chronic conditions hold you back. Prepare for an advance. Auspicious to take military action. There is an opportunity for growth. So, pretty much everything that I just said in a nutshell. You know what? I might just start laying all these cards out and then like, okay, taking the I Ching off of these 2. Boom. Done. 2-minute video. Maybe I'll just start doing like a daily I Ching or something. That would be fun. So yeah, like, act with enthusiasm, honor not only like honor the situations well, that didn't come out. Not only are you going to honor your like spirit crew, but also honor sort of like the situations that they sort of bring you through as learning opportunities, and adopt that higher perspective where you don't have to hold someone to the lesson that they presented to you. You know what I mean? And then you'll be able to move forward. But don't hesitate. It's that renounce hesitation. I was gonna say you've come to the point of no return, but honestly, I feel like you're at the point of no return, hesitating to make that leap. And it was recently, and it might have been, I don't remember when it was, but it was like, it's like in a video game where they're like, are you sure you want to progress with the story? Are you sure you want to go to this next area? Because once you progress past this point, you won't be able to go back. And it's like, you won't be able to go back because something is going to happen to that area, or you're going to like, there's some kind of quantum leap, basically. Like either time is going to pass, that area is going to be destroyed, or whatever. So it's like, if there's anything that you've left undone up until this point, make sure it's done. But it's not even necessarily that, because it's just, I feel like a failure. Oof, no, I don't want to say failure, but hey, you the one that. Let me stop. Someone is the one at 2 out of 4, and that is a 50%. Right? It's a failure to recognize again, like the things and the situations as they are, and instead of taking them personally, even though they are very personal situations, but instead of allowing those situations to continue to have power over you, it's like time for you to heal from them, and time for you to understand and recognize the growth that you can get out of these situations, and how much better you can make yourself in your life. And with that, I'm going to shut this down and give this a quick upload. I hope you have a good whatever whenever you find this.